right? Or valuing their Satoshis instead of pricing them in dollars or the currency of their hometown or their country. And I think that they will come hopefully in our lifetime or in my children's lifetime. But I think that is the core education that needs to be provided to people. And I think Satstreet is in a good position to be able to provide this educational content because of the insight you have on Bitcoin trades at an institutional level. And we should all play our part. But people need to understand how to own their own Bitcoin, similar to how they would store cash under their mattress. And that is their fallback at the end of the day. And that is just my 2 cents ranting on society and all that.
Hopefully not the same way as you store cash under the mattress, but
yeah, exactly.
For the most part, I agree with you. I think we're quite a ways away from the extremes of where things could go, and even though I might have a bit of a doomsday portfolio, I really don't want a lot of this stuff to play through. I think it's just important to position yourself to prepare for things like more stimulus, for dollar devaluation. It's known now that cash is trash, and it really bothers me that a lot of good people who may not have access to the level of information that we may have access to, or they're just simply not interested in investing, they can't just sit on their cash. Otherwise, they're never going to be able to afford things like real estate, things that you really need. And it's totally unfair that these sorts of people, hardworking, prudent savers, have to take big risks with their capital in order to stay above the real inflation. And I think that's what we should be educating. Not there's a lot of like big ideas, which are great, but they can be very cumbersome for a new person into the space to hear. When really the just the bare bones of what someone should know is, hey, you're doing pretty well for yourself, but you can't afford real estate. Like, why can't you afford real estate? Well, I'm getting taxed. I can't save enough money. Quick enough, and real estate's going up in value. And then you take it that way, because like all hard assets that are being inflated heavily, you do need something that you can place your capital in that has historically and has the potential to move up much faster, or at least keep up with the rate of real inflation on the assets that you want. And I really think that that's the real important part. And then, because once you have that conversation, then the conversation turns into, okay, well, then where can I put my money? Right? So really anywhere is better than cash at this point, or cash equivalent like bonds. And then you look at the stock market, right? And you see that it's at all-time highs, and the valuations are incredibly large. So you think, okay, well, how much more runway does that have? Because it's not a scarce asset that there's only ever going to be so many of. So you look at that, and then you look at things like gold, and gold sounds good to me actually, because I've just been in precious metals for a little while, and I get it. I'm sort of fascinated with the history of money, and gold had its purpose. But you try to explain that, like gold and silver, to someone who has never even looked at the history of money, and they're going to look at you like, why do I need this heavy piece of metal in my portfolio? And it's true. I mean, I don't actually hold really any physical metals. I hold a miner who have just, they're leveraged up to the price moves in that space. So it's been a good trade, but it's pretty easy to explain Bitcoin. It's like economics 101. On one hand, you've got supply that is strict and scarce, and on the other side, you've got demand, and then you've got a constant level of demand that's slowly eating away at that supply. It's sort of just like, when I talk to my clients, sometimes I refer to it as like New York City penthouses. It's extremely valuable, and you don't need to go all in at once or buy a full coin, and just slowly start building a position so I think just explaining it in not this sort of religious way, but more just a bare bones facts, and back it up with real life examples of really smart money that have seen it this way, is good enough.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well said. Couldn't agree anymore. I think that, sums up, why Bitcoin should be considered by the masses. That makes perfect sense to me. And I want to end this by, we talk about all this changing economic conditions around the world, and what is your view for this year? Not just for Bitcoin, but for Satstreet and the development of, your business, the development of, your client relations, and where do you see your services evolving? Because I'm sure, as everything, there's always a gap to be filled in every industry, in every sector, in every niche. And such as, we see a gap to be filled in the mining sector, for example, crypto asset mining or Bitcoin mining. And, miners need low cost electricity. They need convenient solutions. They need to be able to track and monitor their progress. And I'm not talking about institutional miners or corporate miners. I'm talking more about individual miners who are looking to diversify their portfolio. Because just as you can buy a Bitcoin or a fraction of a Bitcoin, you can buy a few Bitcoin mining servers and have them hosted in a co-location space and start receiving your daily Bitcoin payouts. And, you mentioned investing in real estate, for example. You can't really invest in real estate if you don't have the down payment or a good credit to get that property. But you can invest a few $1,000s, up to $10,000 to buy a few servers and have them hosted at a decent location that's offering low cost electricity and receive your daily payouts. And I think mining is just as good as real estate today, if not better, because if you consider 2020's average Bitcoin price and you consider the price of miners at the time and the electricity cost, you were netting around 40% annual return on your investment. So that's pretty decent, for an average year. So mining is interesting, and we see a major gap there to be filled to be able to service these people that want to do individual mining. And I think, at the OTC level, miners are very active because at the end of the day, there are certain things that cannot be paid in Bitcoin in terms of operational expenses, and they come to convert their Bitcoin into fiat, or the other way around. So where do you see 2021 going? Where's the focus for the crypto currency sector or your OTC business in the coming year?
Yeah. So right now we're an OTC trading desk, and I think we'll always have that side of the business. It's the part that I really enjoy, and I really think it's important that you have professionals on the other side of the table speaking to smart money to sort of help them get over those initial hurdles and again just have a very smooth transaction process. So that's really important. But what we're building towards is ultimately to win the Canadian market for as we're a neobank. We really think that we've got an opportunity to shine, and that's what we're building towards. So a couple of things that we've recently came out with was one being a bit of a pseudo payroll type solution where our clients, we're keeping it in-house for now, just with current clients and family and friends to sort of work out the kinks and smooth things out, so that our clients and their family and friends are able to line up when they get paid from their employers as an automatic bill payment over to Satstreet, and then we automatically convert it to Bitcoin. So it's a great way for individuals to build positions, even if you can't, meet the minimums that we currently have. And then within the next couple of quarters, our apps will be out, and you'll be able to actually actively trade on the app itself. We have a few other things that I don't think I can mention yet, but essentially everything tied together, I think would give us a very strong footing to be the best neobank in Canada. And we really want to be highlighting Bitcoin as a massive part of that, and revolve all of our services around the Bitcoin ecosystem. So 2021, I can't even, like, the last 7 months have felt like 30 years. So much has happened, and although things move so quickly, it's felt like quite a while. So 2021 is going to be crazy. It's already started off in a massive way, and we're looking forward to getting this seed round behind us, and pushing forward with all this stuff we've got going on the development side, to roll out great products and services to Canadians.
Amazing. I'm looking forward for that app.
Yeah.
Be the first user. There you have it, everyone. Mike from Satstreet.
Thanks for having me, man.
Pleasure to have you. Thanks for drilling into crypto with us. If you enjoyed our discussion, please give us a like on your podcast app or social media, and don't forget to subscribe. Join us next time when we will deliver more perspectives on crypto asset mining, energy markets, and the global financial revolution.